What's up, Scyushi Squad? We back again for some more Trove Delves, and today we're going to be chilling on the test server because we've got quite a few updates to be talking about. More notably is going to be new banners that are being added to the game, which are going to essentially give us even more to our light stat value. For those of you that don't know, basically enemies have a darkness stat in Geode surface and the delves and stuff like that. Basically consider it a form of armor, and then light is our stat that provides armor penetration. So that's the way that they can scale these enemies to be more and more tanky, and then the more light value we have, the more percentage we actually do damage to them. So anyways, more light means we're much stronger. There are going to end up being these new banners that you can end up getting out of the hub, which we'll go take a peek at that. And I don't know if I'm going to necessarily advertise this video as like Crystal 4 gear. I might say put the title of the video as a sneak peek at Crystal 4 because the devs hooked me up a little bit. Okay, so we actually have a Crystal 4 staff, Crystal 4 face, and a Crystal 4 hat. Problem is that they didn't give me any other Crystal 4 gear. I have talked to them. They said that they will hook me up with the other associated weapons. And I also told them that they needed to give me a lot more resources because these bad boys are extremely expensive to upgrade, almost game-breakingly expensive to upgrade. Arguably, I'm on the test server, so I can't buy nitro and crystalline cores and stuff like that. The devs did hook me up with all of the resources, but they didn't give me nearly enough nitro to end up maxing out this piece of gear. So I've been trying to get in contact with them, but you know, it's the weekend and now it's Easter and everything. Happy Easter, by the way, unless you guys don't celebrate it, in which case hope you have a good day either way. Let me actually get the stats of how much it's going to cost to upgrade one of these to maximum for you guys. I'm totally not recording this at the end of the video because I messed up and forgot, but if you guys are new to Trove, you can use that sign up link down in the description below, and then anything you end up buying out of the store will end up helping yours truly. It's a fantastic way that Game & Go has been able to literally support my playing Trove, and you guys can do it too by just playing Trove yourselves and buying stuff. It's awesome. Ooh boy, yeah, that's really expensive, guys. Man alive. So the cores themselves, I guess I'll hop in the club world and I'll show you guys this. My point being, I guess I will advertise this as like looking at Crystal 4 gear. This is not us testing out combat capabilities of the Crystal 4 gear. This is just talking about Crystal 4 gear because you can see that the stats that we actually get from this staff are a little bit more light. We don't get more magic damage from them, not yet anyways. Actually, they buffed this. Yeah, they buffed this. Okay, good. Because originally, when they first gave me this, it was not as good as Crystal 3 gear. It was like the magic damage stat was a lot lower than it was on Crystal 3 gear, but the light stat value you got was a little bit higher. So the fact that this is actually so close to the Crystal 3 gear that I'm rocking right now, this isn't even maxed out, and in one level will probably end up being the same as my Crystal 3, if not a little bit stronger. And all of the stats seem to be better outside of the magic damage, which isn't as important as that light stat value because of what we talked about previously. But you can see this is just a base hat or a visor and a hat. These are just at the lowest, lowest possible level, and obviously the stats are not going to end up equaling the same amount. Again, I'm trying to get myself hooked up so I can end up, upgrading these to maximum, letting you guys know about it. But I mean, you can just see how expensive these are going to be. Like, my God, this is just insane. So the crystalline cores, you'll end up getting those obtained by completing daily 5-star dungeons within the time limit and from opening Geode topside caches, which, I mean, you guys know it's pretty difficult to end up getting these. At least they're kind of not time gated just because you can keep doing 5-star dungeons over and over, but my God, they're expensive. And then these are obtained from loot collecting crystal gear, which, by the way, guys, I want to give you a big heads up. If you're sitting there and you've got an overabundance of crystal gear, save it, okay? Because they're going to be changing the way that they loot collect that gear. I don't remember the exact numbers, but just letting you guys know that when the Delves update comes to the live server, that's when you're going to want to loot collect all of your crystal gear, because you're going to end up getting more resources overall than you would previously. And then there's going to be the nitro, which Let me tell you about the nitro, guys. So nitro is pretty much like, I've got a recent flux farming tutorial video. Everything about it still applies today, but the best way of getting flux in Trove is pretty much nitro, because it's one of the only resources that is continuously used within the community, because you need it to upgrade crystal gear. So as people end up getting more and more gear, people end up using it, and thus it stays expensive. When Crystal 4 gear gets added to the game, it's going to end up being even more expensive. So, you know, I'd say buy it now while you can. Maybe after this video, nitro might spike for a little bit, but it'll probably go back down just because this Delves update is probably 2-3 months away, maybe, give or take. That's just a guesstimate, you know, because usually when stuff gets on the test server, it takes a little while before it goes live. But anyways, in total, to max out Crystal 4, it's going to cost you 1,000 crystalline cores, 2,875 fragments, and then 10,000 nitro. That is insane. Those prices are nutso. And I mean, the thing that's so ridiculous is it's like, I'm just sitting here thinking, the devs didn't give me 10,000 nitro? Like, man alive, even it just, my point is, even to the contact that I have, they didn't know how much nitro it was going to cost, and 10,000 is quite a bit, honestly speaking. But anyways, they'll end up hooking me up at some point, guys. So there's going to end up being, oh, this guy's actually here. What? Would you like to start Inept Geode adventure? Oh, okay, so we can actually just start adventures with this guy now. This guy wasn't here before. What is that under? Is that under Trovian Outpost? Inept Geodes. So rewards you with a pressurized locked Delvers cache, which we'll talk about those in a minute. So you, what does he want me to do? Well, studying the Inept Geode found in the Delves. Use the Delve workbench next to me and donate some for the reward. Donate what? What does he mean donate? This bench doesn't donate anything. Is he crazy? Like, did he lose his mind? Yeah, I think he did. Okay, so there is going to end up being these new light banners. And the way that these are going to work is there's going to end up being these new pressured boxes, right? So these pressured boxes can now be purchased for Inept Geode from a Geodian merchant who occasionally shows up after defeating a Delve boss. Open them to find new exciting Delve related goodies. So there's actually quite a few things that you can get out of these boxes. I haven't opened mine yet because I'll probably save that for another video for you guys, just so that we can have a more focused content video rather than opening a bunch today and it just being something that is just on the side that we talk about, right? But essentially you can end up getting these banners, and you can combine you can combine two different banners together to have different effects. It's going to have new allies. There's also an ally that is very much like the Dragon Pup. So if you guys don't know, the Dragon Pup is, the Cloud Dragon Pup is one of the best allies for the Delves, because you'll just randomly end up refilling your flasks as you kill enemies. It has a random chance, and there is going to end up being a new ally out of these boxes that ends up doing that. I think, and it'll end up giving you light value on top of refilling your flasks, and then there's going to end up being just a bunch of other like really good things that you can get out of this. You can get like a essentially there's going to be an item that you'll be able to consume that will end up giving you the Inept Geode currency, which is in order to buy all of this stuff right here. Now here's the thing that I have as a big complaint. Oh, there's a new bench here too. Module bench, module forge. Oh, never mind. That was always there. One of the things that I find very confusing is some of these items that you can get and end up getting out of these pressure lock boxes and stuff like that. Like, you can actually loot collect them and they'll end up giving you some Inept Geode. But the weird thing is, I don't know if I like the way that they've coded this. The weird thing is that a lot of the items that you can loot collect for Inept Geode, which is this currency right here, will now actually decompose. So they'll actually disappear from your inventory in a set amount of time. But you can't loot collect them if they're going to give you over the cap that you have of the Inept Geode. So, you know, my currency, my wallet can go up to 400 right now. You know, we'd be able to increase that as we get this Inept Geode wallet, but it costs an item that we can't get that's on the test server. The devs have confirmed that there is going to end up being a store item for credits that you can buy that'll end up increasing that even more. So I guess you could essentially get a wallet that goes up to 600, but let's just say right here, you know, I'm at 390, and say I try to loot collect something that's going to give me 20, it'll say, nope, can't do that, son. So I would have to try and find a way that I could end up spending the extra geode resource just so that I could end up loot collecting the item and get the money back. Because otherwise that item that's sitting in my inventory is just going to decompose and die after a while. I think that they should just go ahead and have a confirmation of, do you want to loot collect this? You aren't going to get all of your money back type of thing, because I would much rather be able to consume the item and get the extra coin even at the cost of losing a few. Because there is actually one item, I forget what it was, Joe ended up finding it. It was like I don't know, it's like an unstable geode item or something, and when you consume it, I think it gives you like 100 of the geode resource or something. So it's like, unless you are 100 off from the maximum cap of your wallet, that item is just going to slowly decompose, and that's just stupid, you know, like that shouldn't be a thing. So anyways, let's see if I can end up, I'll swap to a lower tiered character here. I know I keep promising you guys that I'm gonna do the geode on a different class other than my Draco, and I mean that still holds true, but not for right now. Okay, so I've dropped down the portal, we're gonna swap to our Vanguard, we're gonna go to the end, and I'll probably end up skipping this unless we get one of the new biomes, fingers crossed, because they've been slowly adding different biomes to the test server to keep things a little bit more interesting. And is this a new one? What is this one actually? Is this just dinosaur? Oh no, it's the neon one. Okay, I mean that doesn't really look as surprisingly cool as I thought it would be, but anyways, now you guys get to see one of the Ara biomes that literally just looks the same as the undead, except the ground is orange instead of purple as well. Okay, so anyways, seems like we only have to defeat a very small amount of enemies, which is great. They haven't really changed that much as far as the delves are concerned. You know, they keep tweaking it. Certain biomes are definitely a lot easier than others, etc., etc. The only really big thing is I have already got everything set up on the live server so that I can max out the vacuum cleaner, because you can just use this to pull enemies towards you, and essentially it's going to end up being pretty cool when we can end up seeing it maxed out. But again, we're on the test server, I don't have currency, the market is broken and everything like that. Another thing too I want to mention is that out of your modules, you definitely want to grab the barrier, because you can actually just use this over and over and over again, and it's a really good way that you can kind of keep yourself invincible, because it absorbs like I forget if it's a certain amount of damage or it's just on a I think it's just on a raw cooldown before it goes away, so you can kind of use this to negate a lot of the damage in some of the later areas, so that you could really start to tank it out so long as you end up having the energy for it, right? So you can use that in conjunction with the vacuum, pull all the enemies in, like you'll see right here, make myself invincible by casting it, and it's kind of a nice little trick that you can end up doing that I really hope they don't end up nerfing. It's not as effective in the later portions, but it still kind of gets the job done. But what we're going to do right now is we're just going to try and get through this as quick as possible, which thankfully it is very quick. I'm not really liking this neon cave. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. But we'll get through here nice and quick and take a peek at that new crafting table thing that they were talking about. I guess the thing that's kind of cool about this is they have the neon goo, and it kind of breaks it up a little bit, you know, makes it look a little bit different and cool. Like, that's the thing, is I do like the delves. I've talked about this many times. Stylistically, it's not as impressive as some of the Ara biomes and stuff, but I do like the variants. Ooh, I forget if this is a mod that I changed or if they changed the cursed skulls themselves. I don't fully remember, honestly speaking. But let's destroy this giant mushroom man. You're going down, fella. And then we open that. Where is this crafting table? So the pressurized boxes can now be purchased for a new geode from a Geodian merchant. Oh, so it's this guy. No, it's not him. Occasionally shows up after defeating a delve boss. Okay, so I guess... well, there's some inert geode on the ground just going to waste. Kind of sucks. Well, guys, oddly enough, we're not seeing the merchant show up. I've gone to my third depth. I thought we would open this chest together just in case we end up getting anything good out of it, which doesn't seem like it. Kind of disappointing, because he's going to be random, right? So I don't know how long it could end up taking for me to end up getting footage of him. But either way, there's going to be a merchant that you can buy these lockboxes from. So if you have private delves loaded up, of course, in a private delve, you can as far as I know, just invite anybody. So you could actually have somebody set up at one of these, and then they could just invite everybody and all their friends and junk, and then you could end up exchanging with them, which would be great, because then you could even potentially have somebody waiting there at that NPC while you yourself go and farm and get some more Inert Geode, and then you end up getting summoned right back, just so that you don't got to keep searching for him, because it doesn't seem like he's at a set floor depth, was kind of my point. Like, I was hoping he would show up with the shadow chest, but I don't know. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for today, everybody. Just a quick little video. Wanted to update you on these few couple things. Again, as soon as they end up throwing me all of the all the stuff, all the Crystal 4 items, then I'll end up having a video talking about Crystal 4 in a lot more depth, comparing the various stats and stuff like that. But I swear to God, they ended up actually buffing the stat value that a lot of these ended up doing, which is great. And then, well, there's a couple other little hints that we'll talk about a little bit later in that video when I end up getting hooked up. But I probably won't get hooked up today or anything like that, just because, again, they're probably busy with the weekend and junk like that. But anyways, thanks for watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you... Oh, I'm wearing a pink shirt because it's Easter. Buy the merch you want to support the channel, and have yourselves a fantastic day, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I didn't have a video the other day was because I had like an ear infection. It was really bothering me, and I was kind of deaf in this ear. I'm a lot better now, but this ear is still very sensitive. But that's okay. Sign on and stay epic, gamers.